be more American than chocolate chip cookies? In 1930, Ruth Wakefield and her husband owned the Toll House Inn Bed and Breakfast, where they served dinner to their guests. Often Ruth would make desserts to serve to her guests. One night she decided to make chocolate cookies, where she took chocolate bars and broke them up into pieces to put into the cookies, figuring that the chocolate would melt and disperse throughout the cookies, making them full chocolate cookies. Instead, what she was left with is what we know as the chocolate chip cookie. She served these to her guests that night, and they became a big hit with the guests, and people would come again and again requesting these cookies to be made. Eventually, she published these cookies or the recipe in newspapers and magazines, and finally, eventually sold the recipe to Nestle Toll House, Nestle. My family loves chocolate chip cookies, and we have found a recipe that we love to make again and again. To make these cookies, you will need to gather your supplies together, mix the dough together, and then bake the cookies in the oven. The ingredients for my cookies include rolled oats, flour, sugar, walnuts, brown sugar, salt, baking soda, baking powder, eggs, chocolate chips, margarine, and butter. These ingredients over here are for convenience of time to be able to put the ingredients together. You will also need several supplies and equipment to be able to make the cookies. You need a mixer or a hand mixer. You could also use a bowl and a spatula to mix them together, but I prefer to use my stand mixer. You will also need measuring cups and measuring spoons, spatula, a knife, various sized bowls and measuring cups, a bowl to mix the final product in, the cookie sheet and the parchment paper, and the recipe. Now, I'm going to pass out the recipe to each of you so that you can follow along with the recipe and see what's going into the cookies as we make these. Now, I bought these ingredients at Kroger, which is a local grocery store. You can find these ingredients at just about any grocery store that's local to you. And the cost for my ingredients was $22.31. That makes 2 batches of cookies, and each batch makes 40 cookies. Now, to make the cookies, we are going to first open our mixer, and we are going to put the butter in and the margarine, and we're going to add to that the sugar and brown sugar. The brown sugar, you want to make sure that it's packed together and that you push it down into the measuring cup. So we're going to add that, and you're going to mix those together. Once those are completely mixed together, you're going to add in the eggs one by one. Okay. Then you're going to, in a separate bowl, mix together your flour, your salt, baking soda, and baking powder. You're going to take that mixture and you're going to add it into your bowl and mix it together with the dough that you, or the sugars and the butters that you've already put in the bowl. Now, when that is mixed together, you will mix together your final ingredients in a third bowl. In this bowl, you're going to put together the 5 cups of oatmeal, your walnuts, and your chocolate chips, and mix them nicely together so that they're nicely dispersed together. Then, you're going to take your dough and mix it into this bowl and mix those ingredients all together. I like to use gloves when I do this process because it gets sticky and messy, and I'm serving these to other people. So, see. Now, this is the final chocolate chip cookies that we will serve. And in conclusion, making chocolate chip cookies can be fun, family activity, it can be cost effective, and they taste delicious. With a few pantry staples, you can take and mix them together to produce a delicious, chewy chocolate chip cookie.